Isang magandang umaga na naman po sa ating lahat mga kapatid. Tayo muli po ay magtatalakay ng hinggil sa doktrina at tayo ng Seventh-day Adventist Church o prinsipyo sa panahon ng gyera. Ang ating pong tatalakayin ngayon ay 3 punto. Una po, ang pagtalikod ng SDA Church sa kanyang prinsipyo hinggil sa gyera. Pangalawa, ang tinatawag na liberty of conscience. Ano ba ito? Ito ay ating tatalakayin. At ang pangatlo, ang idea ng non-combatancy stand ng Seventh-day Adventist Church. But before we are going to go into those things, amin po muna kayong hihilingan, samahan kami sa panalangin. Akin po hinihilingan si Brother Peter para po sa panalangin.
Dakilang Diyos sa kaitaasan po ng mga langit, sa pagkakataon na ito, kami po ay dumuludulog sa inyong banal na harapan at aming inaanyayahan kayo na gabayan ninyo kami sa aming gagawin na programa, pagpapaliwanag tungkol sa importante na doktrina ninyo para sa inyong bayan na may kinalaman sa 10 utos na inyong ipinapatupad sa inyong mga anak. Kung ito ba ay dapat na sundin ng inyong bayan sa lahat ng panahon o hindi. Ito po ang nais naming linawin, kaya tulungan niyo po kami na gampanan namin ang aming tungkulin bilang inyong lingkod, na maihayag namin ang buong katotohanan sa mga listeners namin. Pagpalain din ang aming mga viewers, mga listeners na makikinig sa presentation na ito, na sana magkaroon sila ng bukas na pag-iisip at handa na unawain ang mga katotohanan na aming ilalahad sa kanilang harapan at magiging gabay nawa nila upang gumawa ng tamang pagpapasya at ilagay nila ang kanilang sarili doon sa panig ng katotohanan, sa panig ng pagsunod sa inyong mga kautusan at hindi sa panig ng paglabag. Ito po ang aming dalangin para sa aming sarili at para doon sa aming mga viewers. Sa pangalan ng Panginoong Hesus, ito ang aking hinihiling. Amen.
Amen. Now, we are slowly putting up the picture, the pieces of the picture, and we are trying to describe at ipakita sa kanila, Brother Peter, ang mukha ng elepante, and which is the doctrine and this truth about na military stand of the Seventh-day Adventist.
Meron ngang viewers natin na nagsabi sa akin na sabi niya nakukumpleto na ang pagtingin ko sa elepante, sabi.
So now we are trying to put all the pictures, the pieces of the pictures into its place. Ngayon, the first thing na sinabi natin that we're going to discuss now is about the apostasy or the departure from the principle ng Seventh-day Adventist Church. Now, substantiate those claims, Brother Peter, na pakita natin sa mga viewers natin na hindi hearsay o hindi kaya pangbabato lang ng mga bagay na hindi naman totoo yung claims natin na na-apostatize in church. Let's substantiate the claims.
Okay, so unang-una gusto natin ihayag sa ating mga viewers kung ano talaga ang kahulugan ng apostasy. At ayon nga doon sa video ng Perplexing War, sabi po ni Brother Brian na which totoo naman, ang apostasy means pagtalikod sa katotohanan. Sa ibang salita, ito ay paghiwalay sa dating aral. Okay. So, para maipakita natin na hindi hearsay o kaya hindi sinungaling o hindi accusation lamang yung sinasabi natin na ang Seventh-day Adventist Church ay talagang tumalikod sa kanyang dating aral. Hindi naman sa lahat, pero particularly doon sa 10 utos with regards to military service.
Yeah.
Okay. Unang-una, ang Seventh-day Adventist noon ay naniniwala na kasalanan ang pagpatay sa panahon ng gira. Ayun. kasalanan ang pagpatay sa panahon ng gira. Pero mula noong 1914, nag-iba na ang kanilang paniniwala. Sila ay hindi na sila naniniwala na kasalanan ang pagpatay ng tao sa panahon ng gira. At dahil doon, okay na daw sa kanila na
Sumali sa
gira. Kasi kahit pumatay sila, hindi naman kasalanan. At kahit, ito pa, pangalawa, naniniwala sila na kapag magtrabaho ka sa time of peace, kasalanan yun. Pero
sa araw ng Sabat.
Oo, sa araw ng Sabat. Pero kapag nagtrabaho ka sa araw ng Sabat, sa panahon ng gira, hindi na yun kasalanan. So dito sa dalawang punto, sinasabi nila na noon, ang paniniwala ng Seventh-day Adventist, kasalanan ang pumatay sa panahon ng gira, kasalanan ang magtrabaho sa araw ng Sabat sa panahon ng gira. Noong First World War, nabago. Sabi nila, hindi kasalanan ang pumatay sa panahon ng gira at hindi kasalanan ang magtrabaho sa araw ng Sabat sa panahon ng gira. Ayan po ang kanilang dalawang tayo. So sa palagay nyo ba, mga kapatid, ay pareho itong tayo o magkaiba? Ayan. Para sa amin, talagang napakalinaw na yun ay magkaiba po. Kasi noon sabi kasalanan, ngayon hindi kasalanan. Ay di talagang nagbago yung paniniwala. Kaya ngayon, gusto naming patunayan na yung sinasabi namin na tayo nila noon at tayo ngayon
ay
magkaiba, may pruweba. Hindi lang yung basta sabi-sabi lang. Okay. Ang patutuo doon sa kanilang paniniwala na noon ay violation of the law of God ang pagsali sa gira, kasi masasagasaan mo yung dalawang kautusan, ay nakasulat dito sa Testimonies Volume 1, page 361, na sila naman nag-publish ito at pinaniniwalaan nila na ito ay galing sa Panginoon. Okay. Sabi dito, I was shown that God's people who are His peculiar treasure cannot engage in this perplexing war. Bakit? For it is opposed to every principle of their faith. Ayan. Oppose means it's a violation of the principle of their faith. Kung violation yan, oppose, kontra, edi kasalanan nga yun. Okay. At nilinaw nila talaga yun. Okay, basahin natin. Noong March 7, 1865, sa kanilang official magazine, Advent Review and Sabbath Herald, ay may lumabas na article na why Seventh-day Adventists cannot engage in war. Actually, marami yung reason doon eh. Pero yung first two reason, number one reason is, sabi nila, they could not keep the Lord's Holy Sabbath sa panahon ng gira. Okay, pag sila ay magsundalo. The seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God, and in it thou shalt not do any work. Fighting, as military men tell us, is the hardest kind of work, and the seventh day of all days would be the least regarded in the camp and field. So malinaw na para sa kanila, naniwala sila na talagang kaya hindi sila pwedeng sasali sa gira dahil makaka-violate sila sa kautusan ng Diyos. Una, ma-violate nila yung fourth commandment.
Sabbath,
Yan. Ngayon, second reason kung bakit daw hindi sila sasama sa gira, ang mga Adventist, sabi dito, the sixth command of God's moral law reads, thou shalt not kill. To kill is to take life. The soldier by profession is a practical violator of this precept. But if we would enter into life, we must keep the commandments. So second point na sabi nila na mababiolate pag sasama ka sa gira is yung sixth commandment. Thou shalt not kill kasi papatay ka. Hindi naman pwede na sasabihin. Meron daw nagsabi na hindi naman tayo papatay susugatan lang natin yung kalaban. Pero pag sinugatan mo, ikaw din ang papatayin niya. May baril din yun eh. Ayan. So, mababiolate talaga kasi papatay ka at magtatrabaho ka sa araw ng Sabat. Pag sumama ka sa gira bilang sundalo. Ayan.
How can you say na nag-iba?
Okay, basahin po natin yung kanilang sinasabi. Manggaling talaga sa kanila mismo. So, dito sa kanilang aklat na The Christian and War, page 18, na-publish ito sa Europe noong 1917 at dinistribute ito doon sa European Division at nakarating pa nga ng Amerika ito eh. Sabi dito, in all that we have said, we have shown that the Bible teaches firstly that taking part in war is not a transgression of the 6 commandments. Secondly, that war service on the Sabbath is not a transgression of the 4th commandment. So nakita niyo.
Indirect, nakikita in just this article, just reading this first evidence, we can already conclude that there is what we call apostasy in this, sa ganitong stand ng Seventh-day
Apostasy,
Adventist
2
Church.
points. 2 counts.
2 counts.
Kasi doon sa apostasy, doon sa kanilang paniniwala sa 4th commandment, and apostasy doon sa dating paniniwala nila dito sa 6th commandment. Okay. Yung paniwala nila completely na reverse. A complete reversal.
So we can say to Brother Tolentino, Pastor Tolentino, that in this sense, we can say, and it is not just an accusation, Brother Peter,
Tama.
that there is really a departure and the church is an apostasy na hindi ayon doon sa sinabi niya.
Okay. Ngayon, dagdagan natin. Ikatlong patunay na talagang tumalikod nga ang Seventh-day Adventist noong 1940, no? Noon, dating naniniwala sila na sila'y non-combatant. At dahil sila'y non-combatant, ang idea nila sa non-combatant, hindi sila dapat mag-volunteer na magsundalo. Okay. Di sila dapat mag-volunteer na magsundalo.
So what happened later on?
Pero later on, mula noong 1914 at hanggang ngayon, nagbo-volunteer na sila. Na pwede na daw silang mag-volunteer na magsundalo kahit na non-combatant ang kanilang position. So yung idea nila, yung paniniwala nila sa non-combatancy noon is hindi pwedeng magsundalo na mag-volunteer. Ngayon
pwede na.
Non-combatant pa rin daw, pero pwede na. So di magkaiba, ibang klase na kumbaga ibang klase na yung kulay ngayon kaysa yung kulay dati.
Show us the evidence, Brother Peter.
Okay. So, bago natin basahin yung evidence, dagdagan muna natin. Maliban doon, hindi lang sa hindi mag-volunteer. Ito pagdating dito kasi sa pagsali sa gira hindi lang yung mag-volunteer. Merong isang way na makasali ka sa gira. Ang paniwala nila, pag non-combatant ka, paniwala ng SDN noon hindi ka sasali sa gira as bilang sundalo na magbo-volunteer. At saka kahit pag ikaw madraft,
magbabayad,
ay hindi ka pa rin dapat sasama. Yun ang non-combatant stand ng Seventh-day Adventist nung araw. Yun ang paniniwala nila. So hindi ka pwedeng mag-volunteer, kahit madraft ka, hindi ka pa rin dapat pupunta. Okay. Pero ngayon,
pwede na.
Sabi nila, pwede ka nang mag-volunteer kahit non-combatant ka, at saka lalo na kung ikaw ay na-draft, ay talagang pupunta ka. Ayan, ang kanilang So, makikita natin na very bago talaga yon. Okay, ngayon, dito tayo sa sa patutuo na nung araw, ang idea nila sa non-combatancy is hindi ka pwedeng magsundalo ng volunteer. Second, hindi ka pwedeng magsundalo kahit na-draft ka. Ayan, basahin natin ang position paper na sinulat ng ng mga officers, GC Seventh-day Adventist General Conference Committee. Sulat nila doon kay Governor Blair noong August 3, 1864 as a position paper of the Seventh-day Adventist, as a body, not yung committee view, but they are representing the view of the whole body. Sabi nila, our practice has uniformly been consistent with these principles. Yung principles doon, yung pagsunod sa kautusan ng Diyos. Hence, our people have not felt free to enlist in the service.
Wow.
Ibig sabihin, hindi sila nagbo-volunteer.
Yes.
Okay. In none of our denominational publications have we advocated or encouraged the practice of bearing arms. Okay, hindi sila nag-i-encourage, hindi sila nag-advocate ng bearing arms. And when drafted, so solved na kanina yung volunteer, talagang hindi mag-volunteer. When drafted, ano ang action nila?
Yeah.
Sabi nila, when drafted, rather than violate our principles, kasi kung pupunta sila, makabiolate sila sa kanilang principle. Rather than go and violate our principle, we have been content to pay and assist each other in paying the 300 commutation money. Oh. Rather na magbayad kaysa yung pupunta. Kasi pag pupunta ka, ang iniiwasan nila doon, yung hindi sila makabiolate. Pero kung pupunti sila doon hindi makabiolate, no problem. Ang problema, alam nila na pag pupunta ka doon, makabiolate ka talaga doon.
So what about the latest stand?
So ngayon, ang latest stand ganito. Dito sa isang magazine nila na Zion Watchman, Zion's Wachter, ito sa that is German word,
term,
no?
yeah.
Pero sa English translation na is Zion's Watchman. March 20, 1916. Sabi po nila, the General Conference Committee of the German Union takes the stand that in regard to bearing of arms or to military duties, it is a civil demand to which the established government of God are entitled according to 1 Peter 2 verse 13 and 14 and Romans 13 verse 3 to 5. So civil demand daw yon, ibig sabihin kailangan mag-comply sila.
Give to Caesar what is for Caesar.
Yan. And then sabi nila, this stand was also taken by the General Conference Committee in November 1915 while in session. So hindi lang dito sa Europe, this is the same stand of the General Conference Committee. Kasi wala pa naman General Conference session at that time. So committee ang nagdi-decide. And so this is not only a position of the German Adventist, but also of the General Conference. So yan. And hindi na natin basahin uli yung iba, no? Mag-watch na lang sila doon sa ibang video natin. Kasi binasa na natin yung ibang mga evidence doon. Isa-isa lang muna dito ang ating dinagamit. Just to recapitulate what we have been presenting. So very clear dito na yung position nila na hindi pwedeng magsundalo either voluntarily or through draft, ngayon, ginawa nilang pwede na. So, yung paniniwala, makikita natin na completely na reverse. Yung dati, pinabayaan na yun. Humiwalay na sila doon sa dating paniniwala at iba na yung paniniwala nila ngayon.
In other terms, apostasy.
Yan ang pinaka-shortcut na salita na gagamitin doon. Pagtalikod sa dating paniniwala. So, ikalimang patunay, no, na tumalikod ang Seventh-day Adventist Church. Ang dating paniniwala ng SDA na ito na basa na natin, no. Pero idagdag natin 'to. Dahil bawal sa kanila ang mag-volunteer. Kapag ikaw ay nag-volunteer,
excluded from the church.
Disfellowship ka talaga.
According to our sa past study natin, na may in-exclude sa Battle Creek.
Yan. So, ginawa nilang test of fellowship yan. So, ang paniniwala nila na kapag ang isang Seventh-day Adventist ay nag-volunteer na magsundalo, ititiwalag nila yon. Libre siya na gumawa nun, no? Libre kasi meron namang liberty of conscience. Kung gusto niya, pupunta. Pero may action ang church sa kanya.
Hindi pwedeng pabayaan lang.
Hindi pwedeng pabayaan lang. Ayan. Okay. Pero ngayon, mula nung First World War, nabago na naman ang kanilang paniniwala na yung mga non-combatant na nag-volunteer na magsundalo, naniniwala sila na hindi na dapat matiwalag. So yung paniniwala nila, dapat ang magsundalo na voluntary ay matiwalag. Ngayon,
hindi na.
Nabago. Hindi, naniwala na sila na hindi dapat matiwalag. Kaya wala nang tiwalagan. At hanggang ngayon, ang daming mga voluntary na sundalo, di ba?
Yeah.
Ikaw, meron ka ng mga kilala ng mga Adventist na active in service ngayon.
Well, Espinido is one of the
sikat na ngayon
celebrated Adventist na nasa service.
Ayan. At hindi lang siya nag-iisa.
Ang dami.
Napakarami.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
Yeah.
Napakarami po yan.
Hundreds of thousands, I think.
And they are active Seventh-day Adventists. Bakit? Kasi nagbago yung
Stand ng
yung
church.
kanilang paniniwala.
So there is a total apostasy in this case.
So, yon ang tawag doon is apostasy. Pag sila'y tumalikod doon sa dati na paniniwala. Basahin natin yung evidence. Review and Herald, March 7, 1867. As voluntary enlistment in the service of war is contrary to the principles of faith and practice of Seventh-day Adventists, as contained in the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus, they cannot retain those within their communion who so enlist. They cannot retain.
So,
Ibig
there's a
sabihin
fellowship.
talagang itatakwil. Enoch Hayes was therefore excluded from the membership of the Battle Creek Church by a unanimous vote of the church on March 4, 1865. Yan. So malinaw na ine-exclude talaga nila noon yung although yung tao meron siyang liberty of conscience kung pupunta sa hindi, pero
may church sanction.
may church ang action naman ang gagawin ang church. Ititiwalag yun.
How about on the later time?
Yeah.
What did they do?
Ngayon, basahin natin ang bago nilang paniniwala. Paliwanag ni A.G. Daniels. Ito po ay nandoon sa tinatawag na protocol. Ito yung protocol. Ito po yung minutes doon ng 3 days na meeting between yung mga
In this fellowship.
combatant leaders sa European Division, at saka yung mga pioneers ng Islam. Okay? Plus yung representative ng General Conference, 4 ng member ng GC Committee. So nagkaroon sila din ng meeting, tapos si A.G. Daniels tumawag ng stenographer. Ang purpose daw niya, pinaliwanag naman din niya doon ang purpose para magkaroon ng talagang
Formal
record sa proceedings, to be kept on file and to be used later just in case na mayroong magsisinungaling, mag-ano ng propaganda, false propaganda. Ganito ang ginawa nila doon sa meeting. Madali na lang makorek yan, mapasinungalingan based dito sa record.
Okay.
Kaya tumawag siya ng talagang stenographer.
So we're thankful for Brother Daniels that tumawag siya ng stenographer so that we were able to put these things, this evidence.
At sila yung nag-publish una. Nagkaroon tayo ng copy, nag-reproduce na lang tayo ng tinatawag na facsimile reprint. Ayan. Pero sila po yung unang nag-publish sa kanilang publishing house. Sabi po dito sa page 30, we took the attitude that everyone should act in this matter according to his conscience. We declared our position as non-combatants, sabi niya. We are not concerned with going to war, but we must allow every citizen to take his position toward the government according to his own conscience. Not one of these people has been disfellowship from our denomination. Not one of them has been treated as if he were not a Christian. So, ibig sabihin, ang dami ng mga pumunta doon sa Gira, noong First World War, hindi sila nadi-disfellowship. This is ang setting nito sa Amerika. Ayan.
But just his statement, he is simply saying na ang ginawa nila ng church sa Battle Creek is an unchristian conduct toward Enoch Hayes kasi disfellowship man. Sabi niya dito that yung hindi disfellowship kasi hindi ibig sabihin na hindi sila Christian. So that means that it is an unchristian conduct. In 1865 ang ginawa ng church is disfellowship si Enoch Hayes and then few other members ng church kasi nag-voluntary enlist sila.
Pero hindi na nakasulat yun. That would be a matter of analysis kung i-analyze. Okay, basta stick lang tayo doon sa nabasa na ayon sa kanila doon, hindi dapat ma-disfellowship yung nagbo-volunteer na pumunta. Doon, bakit itong setting volunteer ang sinabi natin doon sa Amerika? Doon sa Amerika kasi, noong First World War, hindi naman sila, hindi naman compulsory drafting ang lahat Maraming mga volunteers yan. Kagaya nung Gulf War, hindi naman compulsory ang draft di ba? Pero ang daming Seventh-day Adventist ang pumunta sa Gulf War. Thousands ang pumunta doon sa Gulf War. Pero, na-disfellowship ba sila? Hindi. Bakit? Kasi hindi na nga sila nagdi-disfellowship ngayon, nabago ang kanilang paniniwala. Ayan po ang...
So talking about that, A.J. Daniels was talking about hindi namin sila disfellowship because there is what we call liberty of conscience. Now tell us about what is liberty of conscience. Is there a boundaries of the liberty of conscience?
Okay, ito ngayon ang ating pag-uusapan, yung tungkol sa liberty of conscience. Kasi, ayon doon sa Perplexing War na video ni na Brother Amican at Brother Tolentino, in-emphasize talaga ni Brother Brian doon na ang Seventh-day Adventist Reform Movement daw ay hindi naniniwala sa liberty of conscience.
Autocratic tayo, yan ang iniisip nila.
Kaya yan gusto nating sabihin at liwanagin ito doon sa ating viewers na mali po yun. Hindi po tama na sabihin na ang Islam ay hindi naniniwala sa liberty of conscience. Naniniwala po tayo. Ngayon, siyempre, ang tinutukoy na liberty of na hindi naniniwala, hindi yung tayo dito sa Pilipinas, kundi yung mga pioneers ng Islam noong 1914 ang sinasabi na hindi naniwala. Kasi yun daw ang nagiging official na tayo ng General Conference. Etong Islam pioneers, kaya na failure daw yung negotiation for unification kasi ayaw nilang maniwala sa liberty of conscience. Okay. Ang liberty of conscience ibig sabihin na malaya ka na sumunod doon sa ayon doon sa konsensya mo. You are free to believe what you believe based on your conscience, and you are free to do according to what your conscience dictates. Ayun. Ito human right ito . Sa lahat ng bansa, maliban doon sa mga
communist country,
basta mga democratic countries, talagang they recognize this as a human right. Yung freedom, liberty. Okay. Ngayon, patunayan natin dito na yung mga SDA pioneers noon, doon sa Europe, ay naniwala sa liberty of conscience. Doon sa document doon, pinaliwanag nila na sila ay naniniwala din sa liberty of conscience. Sinabi nila doon sa meeting na naniniwala kami sa liberty of conscience. Huwag niyong sabihin na kami ay hindi naniniwala. Pero ito nga, ina-accuse pa rin sila na hindi naniniwala. Mangyari siguro, maganda kung si Pastor Tolentino at saka yung mga kasamahan niya, basahin nila ng maayos yung kanilang dokumento. Kasi ginamit nila doon sa video, portion . Portion. Meron silang kinote lang na maliit na doon.
Hindi lahat nilagay.
Hindi lahat nilagay. Aywan ko kung meron silang kopya doon sa buo na proceedings o baka kinote lang nila yung part na sinabi doon ni Helmut Kramer doon sa kanyang libro na laban sa Seventh-day Adventist. Di siyempre hindi naman na-print yung kabuuan doon. Tapos binase lang doon. Tayo meron tayong meron tayong full na document.
So if so happen na gusto nila ng document, would you be happy to give them those documents?
Okay, ibibigay natin kung meron pong gusto na mag-request. Mag-PM lang po kayo sa akin doon, ipapadala ko. Okay. Ngayon, basahin ko yung sinabi ng representative ng disfellowship minority na Adventist na sa ngayon ay matatawag na natin Islam. Okay. Sabi niya dito, pagkatapos na nagsalita ito si Daniels, tapos inuulit niya, in-explain niya yung view niya about liberty of conscience. Sabi dito ni Spunk Nobel, one of the 18 na representative ng disfellowship minority, sabi niya, we believe that we, in order to follow Jesus at this time, according to the scriptures and the testimonies, cannot go to war. We allow liberty of conscience to everyone. Ayan. Kaya hindi tama yung sabi na hindi naniniwala ng liberty of conscience ang mga Islam. We allow liberty of conscience to everyone. In heaven, there is also liberty of conscience. Tama naman,
Yes.
Sa langit may liberty of conscience. Pero ito,
but not a liberty of conscience which overthrows the principle of the law of God.
Yeah.
So yun lang yung pagkakaiba doon sa application ng liberty of conscience. So itong mga majority represented by the officers of General Conference ng SDA, naniwala sila sa liberty of conscience. Ito ng mga minority, naniwala din sa liberty of conscience. Magkaiba nga lang yung the way they apply.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Dito, ina-apply nitong GC officers yung liberty of conscience in a way to allow people to transgress the law of God. Pero dito naman sa minority group, they apply and they believe liberty of conscience, but
Merong boundaries.
may limit yun. You cannot exercise that to overthrow the law of God. Ang ibig sabihin, dapat
The law of God is always supreme.
yung law of God at salita ng Panginoon is above your conscience.
Yes.
Hindi pwede yung sabi ng Panginoon, huwag kang papatay. Sabi niya, ay Panginoon, ayon sa konsensya ko, pwede akong papatay.
Uh-huh.
Hindi pwede yun eh. Hindi pwede yun.
So,
sabi ng Panginoon, pwede mong i-exercise yan laban, but remember, ayon doon sa patakaran ng aking pamahalaan, pag ikaw ay lumabag, merong may parusa.
may sanctions.
The soul that sin,
It shall die.
it shall die. So if you exercise your liberty of conscience to transgress my law, you should know that the soul that sin must die. So ikaw ngayon nasa iyo na yung pagpipili.
So, it's simply saying that the dictates of conscience must be subjected to the laws of God.
Yan. It must be exercised within the parameters of
The law of
the
God.
law of God. Pag under tayo sa gobyerno ng Panginoon. Sa church naman, we still have our liberty of conscience, but we should exercise within the parameters of the
Principles of the church.
principles of the church. Sa government, alam ba dito sa Pilipinas, we have our liberty of conscience. But we have to exercise that liberty within the parameter of the Constitution of the Philippines at saka yung mga ordinances. Halimbawa, sa driving lang. Merong traffic law. Hindi naman pwedeng, sabi ng drive, keep right. Sabi yung, my conscience said that I should drive on the left. Pag ginawa mo yun, huhulihin ka. You are liable. You have to answer for your action. Ngayon, in the case doon dito sa sa ginawa ni ng General Conference ng Seventh-day Adventist, they give liberty sa mga members
To violate.
to violate the law, go to war, kill people, work on the Sabbath without any accountability. Ibig sabihin, yung liberty of conscience nila, linagay nila doon para mawalan ng ngipin itong
Kautusan ng
Ten
Diyos.
Commandments. Na parang hindi ka na mapaparusahan, hindi ka magkakasala, kahit na ilang taong pinatay mo, libre ka pa rin. Ayun yung klase ng liberty of conscience ng Seventh-day Adventist General Conference sa panahon na yun. Ayan. So, makikita natin dalawang uri ng liberty of conscience. Liberty of conscience as believed and practiced by the minority, and the liberty of conscience as believed and practiced by the majority. Magkaiba. Dito, regulated by the law. Pag lumabag ka, may pananagutan ka. Doon sa kanila, hindi regulated by the law. Kahit lumabag ka, wala kang pananagutan.
But a question that I would like to open up here, Brother Peter, is which of the two of the liberty of conscience na idea is recommended by the Word of God?
Yeah.
We want to see that.
Titignan natin,
those evidences kasi mahirap talaga magbigay ng salita o magbigay ng statement without having the evidence.
Okay, we will come to that point. Pero for this time, gusto ko lang na dagdagan yung evidence natin na talagang tayo, the Reform Movement, our Seventh-day Adventist Reform Movement pioneers, naniniwala talaga sa liberty of conscience. Sabi pa ni Spunk Noble, the same book, the same minutes. Now, regarding the second point, when the decision against the law of God was made in Germany and various brethren were disfellowshipped from the church, from the body because of their conscience, we had to continue on our way with this message according to our conviction. So noong nag-issue ang European Division ng rule na lahat ng mga Adventist na mga qualified na drafted dapat pumunta sa gira, in-exercise nitong ng minority yung kanilang liberty of conscience. Kaya hindi sila sumunod. Kasi nakita nila labag sa utos ng Diyos. So in exercising their liberty of conscience, hindi nila sinunod ngayon yung utos. Pero majority, in-exercise din nila yung liberty of conscience nila, sumunod doon sa payo na they can go to war and violate the law of God. Okay, so majority ang sumunod doon in exercise of liberty of conscience din. Eto, nag-exercise din ng liberty of conscience ito. Pero, na-disfellowship sila.
So it's quite interesting. There's somewhat a contradiction with the statement of A.G. Daniels. Kasi sabi doon, liberty of conscience. Tapos, dinisfellowship yung 2%.
Oo.
It's somewhat a contradiction. Kasi, sabi nila, you can go or you can do whatever you want. But then, why didn't they did disfellowship those minority kung liberty of conscience ang idea ng gusto nila?
Yun ang hindi natin maintindihan, no? Yung parang dinesign yung batas na yon, yung doktrina na yon, in-apply lang sa one side, pero hindi in-apply sa other side.
So there is what we call bias.
Bias yun. Bias application of the law. Ayan po ang hindi tama. Okay, basahin pa natin, no? Ayon dito sa thesis ni Jacob Michael Platt, The History of the Advent Movement in Germany, page 258. About 2% of the membership condemned Conradis' stand and refused to abide by it. Bakit nila ginawa yon? Because they practice their liberty of conscience. Hindi sila nagpauto doon sa mga superior nila. Kung meron kayong karapatan ng gumawa yan, sabi nyo, kami may karapatan din na sumunod sa aming konsensya. Ayan. Their persistent refusal resulted in dismissal from the membership of the church. Yan. So natiwalag itong mga pioneers ng ISDARM sa SDA Church dahil nag-exercise sila ng kanilang liberty of conscience in the correct way, na sumunod sila doon sa kautusan. Pero yung nag-exercise ng liberty of conscience to violate the law of God, silang hindi na disfellowship. Yung nag-exercise ng liberty of conscience para sumunod sa kautusan ng Diyos at hindi pumatay at hindi magtrabaho sa araw ng Sabat, sila pa yung na disfellowship. Ano kaya?
Quite confusing. So I think it's the viewers who will decide kung alin ba doon ang tama at alin yung mali. Now, upon looking this, what kind of conscience does God needs to see in His people?
Kaya ito, basahin natin. Education, page 57. The greatest want of the world is the want of men. Men who will not be bought or sold. Men who in their inmost souls are true and honest. Men who do not fear to call sin by its right name. Men whose conscience is as true to duty as the needle to the pole. Men who will stand for the right though the heavens fall. So, yan ang uri ng conscience ang kailangan.
So this is what ito yung naging stand ng ating pioneers, the Seventh-day Adventist Reform Movement. They were persecuted, they were put in dungeons simply because of being true to their duty, because of their conscience.
Dahil sa kanilang konsensya, gusto nila talaga na maging tapat sa kanilang tungkulin. Ganon po yan. So, eto pa. Mga SDA pioneers natin, hindi talaga nakagusto sa application ng liberty of conscience ng taga-General Conference, especially lahat na doon sa Amerika.
Yeah.
Okay, sabi ni Spunk Noble, we find now that the brethren in America allowed liberty of conscience to such an extent that the law of God was transgressed. Doon sila umangal eh.
Yeah.
Pag mag-exercise ka ng liberty of conscience to obey the commandment of God, good yan. Ha? That is a proper exercise of liberty of conscience. But when you exercise your liberty of conscience to the extent that the law of God was transgressed, doon sila hindi pumayag. Yun ang pagkakaiba ng concept ng majority sa liberty of conscience at saka yung tayo.
Minority.
Oo. So it is wrong for Pastor Brian to accuse the reformers na hindi naniwala sa liberty of conscience. They believe in the right application of liberty of conscience. Ang hindi nila lang pinaniwalaan, yung uri ng pag-apply ng majority, especially the General Conference, ng liberty of conscience. Hindi nila naniwala doon kasi ang paniwala nila, mali yun. Mali yung pag-exercise mo ng liberty of conscience to transgress God's law.
So the same, ang prinsipyo natin, we would like just to make it clear na hanggang ngayon po, we are still exercising the liberty of conscience as long as it is in subjection to the law of God.
Tama yun. Kung gagawin mo yan to support your faithfulness to your duty to God.
Though the heavens fall.
Though the heavens fall. Okay. Sabi pa dito ni Daniels, I should like to say that the declaration by Brother Dell when it came to us in America did not seem right, and we regret this. We received letters from members who condemned it very severely and asked that we should rise and condemn it. We told them that they should be quiet and cautious. I have never used my pen to publish a condemnation of this declaration. Neither has Brother Spicer. But he said, let us not condemn the brethren in Germany and Europe in their distress. Brother Prescott took the same view. So ito mga GC officers, members of the GC committee. So, hindi nila ginamit ginamit nila yung kanilang liberty of conscience, pero pinili nila na hindi i-condemn yung kamalian ng European leaders, yung pag-violate nila sa law of God. So pag sinabi dito na they did not condemn, yung word condemnation doon is disapproval. 'Di ba? Halimbawa, yung may na-assassinate. Sabi ng isang country, we strongly condemn the killing of the president of this country. That means we strongly disapprove the killing na hindi tama. Dito, nagkasala na nga, nag-violate yung mga tao doon.
Dinisfellowship pa yung mga tumayo.
Ang daming kasalanan, but they do not want to
take action,
to condemn. They do not want to disapprove. Ibig sabihin, if you don't disapprove, you are approving it. Yun ang
so we are
so wrong yun. That is a wrong way of exercising your liberty of conscience. Kaya kung sa akin, ako ang mag-exercise ng liberty of conscience ko, I should condemn that. Bakit? Kasi mali. Call sin by its right name. Pagkasalanan, sabihin mong kasalanan.
So sometimes people are thinking the word condemnation in an extreme manner, but gusto na natin linawin, Brother Peter, that condemnation is not really as they think na condemnation. Condemnation is just disapproval of the action that has been done.
I-condemn mo yung nangyari na hindi tama. Sasabihin mo yung ginawa mo hindi tama. Hindi yung i-condemn mo yung tao na paparusahan. Iba yun. Iba yun, condemnation of the action, not the person.
But then there are still sanctions after na disapproval, mapakita din yung sanction ng church doon sa mga hindi sumunod.
According to the rule. According to the rule. Halimbawa sa government, okay, they express their disapproval, tapos pag na proven guilty yung tao, then the next thing is kung ano yung nararapat na i-prescribe ng batas na parusa, yun ay ipapataw. Ayan. So, ganun po yung nangyari.
So, how do we know that the SDA leaders has given the liberty of conscience para i-transgress ang kautusan ng Diyos?
Okay.
How do we know that?
Basahin natin. Ito yung
Binasa natin sa previous na videos natin, basahin ulit natin. Circular letter of Elder Gaidel, Secretary of the European Division, dated August 2, 1914. By the way, may paglilinaw na ginawa pala ito si
Dale.
si Conradi,
Conradi.
as president, na nung daw nangyari yung gira na yon is nasa England pala siya. Wala siya sa Germany. So parang sinasabi niya na ang sole responsibility sa gumawa ng sulat is
si Dale.
ito si Gaidel.
So naghugas siya ng kamay.
Pero with full endorsement naman din siya kasi hindi naman niya winidraw yun eh. Nung nalaman niya, okay lang, he let it go. Yan. So sabi niya dito, we should do our military duties cheerfully whilst we are in service or being called to serve, so that the officers in charge will find us valiant and true soldiers who are ready to die for their homes, for our army, and for our fatherland. So anong ibig sabihin niyan? Yung talagang binigay yung liberty sa kanila na pumunta, pumatay, mag-transgress ng kautusan ng Diyos. Kasi pag pumatay ka, talagang that is transgression. Sabi nga, thou shalt not kill.
So upon knowing this, Brother Peter, the viewer will say, okay, that is just in Germany. The General Conference itself ay hindi nag-endorse ng ganong mga bagay. Do we have some evidence that including the General Conference itself has departed from the principles of the former faith?
Okay, so subaybayan natin yung kasaysayan. Okay, tignan natin, na alam ba talaga ng GC officers natin? Batay doon sa personal na, yung testimony ni Elder Daniels na president, sa kanyang testimony noong 1920. Okay, nakaminutes yun doon sa meeting. Sabi niya, as soon as the war began in Europe, we studied this subject carefully in America.
So depends alam nila.
Pinag-aralan nila yon yung case doon sa Europe. Kasi yung sulat na binasa natin kanina na ni Gaidel na binigay niya doon sa sa Europe. Gumawa din siya ng sulat the same month, August.
Pinadala sa GC.
Pinadala sa GC
to be discussed.
Para malaman nila. So nag-report Kaya alam nila, dumating nga dito, sabi na, as soon as the war began in Europe, we studied the subject carefully in America. After we had studied the subject carefully, however, we found that it confused or perplexed us very much. And then, bakit naka-perplex daw sa kanila? It was a question of taking a position upon which all could be united, and that was the following. Okay. That we as a denomination accept the principles of non-combatants. Okay.
He admitted it.
He admitted na non-combatant yung position ng denomination. Non-combatancy was our watchword as Seventh-day Adventist mula nung pagka-establish. Ang watchword is non-combatancy. This was our position as denomination. We went back to the Civil War in order to confirm this position. So pinag-aralan nila, binalikan nila, binasa nila yung historical position, so alam nila. Thus our brethren took up this position after long studied and discussion. So na-establish daw nila na sila ay as a denomination, tayo ay non-combatancy. Pero pakinggan natin itong explanation na. Dito na yung sinasabi natin na nagbago yung kanilang paniniwala doon sa termino na non-combatancy. Okay. The next difficulties which appeared where? Ibig sabihin, nung sinabi nila, okay, non-combatant tayo. Hindi tayo pwedeng aalis dito sa non-combatant. Okay? Pero, sabi na, ang susunod is yung difficulties naman. What do we understand by non-combatancy? Ayun ngayon, what do we understand? What course should a non-combatant take in relation to military service? What parts should he take in the war? Pag non-combatant ka, ano ang dapat gawin mo during war? Legitimate questions ito, importante. In what relationship should we stand to the government? I should now like to tell you how the matter turned out with us in America. In America.
So it's quite interesting. They're still looking up for some reasons to escape from the principles. Kasi nakalagay naman sa Testimonies Volume 1 already what they should take.
Oo.
But it seems like he is explaining that means he is trying to escape on something in this matter.
Tama. Yan po talaga ang nangyari. Kasi ano yun hindi na lang alam niya na talagang somehow lumihis na sila sa kanilang ginawa. Pero gusto niya na talagang yung paliwanag niya in a way na makonvince yung tao na kahit na nagkamali, palalabasin niya na tama pa rin. Yung kahit na yung nangyari, ginagawa nila hindi na non-combatancy, palalabasin niya na non-combatant pa rin yun. Okay, titingnan po natin kung papaano. Okay? So, ito, sabi niya, non-combatant idea endorsed by SDA General Conference number 1. Sabi niya ito, there were some brethren in the U.S. who, as soon as we took our position as non-combatants, said, this means that I have nothing to do with the war. I shall not go into the camp or the barracks when I am called. So the soldiers had to arrest them and bring them into the barracks. They did not offer any resistance. Okay, mabait naman sila. They wanted to fight out their idea of non-combatants, and we allow them. Okay, we allow them, ganun. Yun ang idea nila ng non-combatant na hindi talaga papatay, hindi magtrabaho sa araw ng Sabat. Ayan. Hindi pupunta, pero kung hinuli, hindi rin magre-resist. Okay. It means that if this was their conviction, then well and good. That is one interpretation daw ng non-combatancy. Okay. Sa kanila, okay yon. That's still non-combatancy yon. Okay, ito. Idea number 2. Then we had others who did all except the military drill. Only when the gun was handed to them, they refused to accept it. They took a broomstick or some other stick and carried out all exercise. Nag-exercise, hindi baril ang hawak. Nagdi-drill na hindi baril ang hawak, kundi walis lang. That was their conscience. Hindi sila gustong humawak ng baril. Okay. And their concept of that is their concept, non-combatancy pa rin daw yun. And they allow. Okay. Idea number 3. Then we had other brethren who went farther, taking the gun and performing all military drills that they could do. But they told their officers that they were non-combatants and could not go to the front. Now we have had all the ideas and gradations on non-combatancy. So idea number 3, ang sabi dito, pwedeng humawak sa baril during training. Mag-practice during training, pwede namang magpaputok kung kinakailangan. Pero hindi ang kanilang views ng combatant, hindi nila pwedeng gamitin para patayin ang tao. Pwede lang gamitin just for exercise, ganun, for training, pero doon sa actual fight, hindi na nila pwedeng gamitin yon para pumatay ng tao. Kaya nung dumating yung time after nung training na they are going to be sent to the front, doon na sila umayaw. Ibig sabihin, hanggang doon sa training lang. Pero pag pupunta na sa actual na gira, ayaw na nila. Non-combatancy pa rin yan. That's another idea of non-combatancy. Number 3. Ito naman, number 4. Non-combatant idea endorsed by SDA pa rin yan. Then we had some brethren who had the spirit of love for their country, and they went to the front and fought. They came to England and France and went into the trenches. Trenches is the battleground talaga. And I do not know what they did when they were there. Siyempre alam na niya. Sabi, I do not know. Alam nila, pag nandun ka sa trenches, talagang makipagpatayan ka doon. And sabi pa doon, what now? But they served and returned when the armistice came, when peace finally came. What now was our position toward our brethren with their various attitudes? We have stated that we do not want to be conscience for other people. We declared our position as non-combatants.
So it seems like merong contradictory of statement na sinabi niya. Kasi sinabi niya doon kanina na non-combatant sila, But then there's this last statement is saying that some brethren who had the spirit of love of their country, they went to the front and fought.
Fought. Pero para sa kanya, non-combatant pa rin yun.
I'm a bit confused. I don't know. I don't know if
Ayaw
you
ko
can
sa viewers
explain.
natin kung ano yun.
You can explain. I don't know if you can explain it to me, but I cannot really. Kasi nakikita ko there's a self-contradictory of statement here.
Hindi pwedeng non-combatant 'yon. Kasi pag pumunta ka sa combatant ka. That means you join the combat war, patayan.
Somewhat saying that when you fight, you are not combating.
Iwan ko lang kung papaano na hindi ka combatant pag ikaw ay
I think,
nakipagpatayan. Yon ang sinasabi natin na meron silang kinonfuse nila yung idea ng non-combatant. Na iba ang idea ng non-combatant. Yung idea na dati, yung paniniwala sa non-combatant is, huwag kang mag-volunteer, huwag kang sasama kahit na draft ka. Okay? Pag ikaw ay hinuli, siyempre, huwag kang mag-resist, pero pagdating mo doon, i-explain mo yung position mo at magtapat ka sa Panginoon. Huwag kang papatay, huwag kang magtrabaho sa araw ng Sabat. You can do any other good things, pero huwag ka lang lalabag sa kautusan ng Diyos. Yun yung combatant position nung araw. Pero dito, ang combatant sa kanila is kung hindi ka sasali, non-combatant. Pag sasali ka sa gira, non-combatant ka pa rin.
Pag nakipaglaban ka din, still non-combatant.
Still non-combatant ka
so
pa
that
rin.
means all the soldiers all around the world, even in the government na hindi Adventist, they are still non-combatant.
Non-combatant pa rin. Kung susundin natin
yung idea ni A.J.
Daniels.
A.J.
Daniels. Kaya frustrated talaga yung mga opposition movement, yung mga minority. Kasi na-confuse sila dito sa paliwanag niya sa non-combatant. Okay. Kaya para ma-accommodate yung yung ganon na multiple ideas ng liberty of conscience at saka yung non-combatancy na para lumabas na non-combatant pa rin yung pumatay, sumali sa gira, inadapt nila itong natawag na liberty of conscience. Sabi niya, we took the attitude that everyone should act in this matter according to his conscience. We declare our position as non-combatants. We are not concerned with going to war, but we must allow every citizen to take his position toward the government according to his own conscience. Yan. Not one of these people has been disfellowship from our denomination. So, yun. So, para lumusot ba na pwedeng acceptable yung kung huwag kang pupunta, yung pupunta ay pwedeng matanggap pa rin sa church, ginawa nila itong tinatawag na liberty of conscience. Sabi, we must allow every citizen to take his position toward the government according to his own conscience. So, kumbaga, hindi nila in-implement yung rule. Sinuspend nila yung rule na yon. Tapos, isinubstitute nila yung doctrine, yung law of God, inalis nila yung law of God, ipinalit nila ngayon yung liberty of conscience. Whereas, dapat itong liberty of conscience should be above the law of God. Pero ito ngayon ang inalis nila, pinairan nila. So, parang yung law of God na nandun na sa ilalim ng liberty of conscience.
But does God in the inspiration, does God is the plan of God that way na ang conscience natin ay mas susundin kaysa sa konsensya natin?
So dito natin makikita na talagang based on what is written, hindi talaga tama itong application na ginawa ng SDA sa liberty of conscience na yung law of God, ginawa nilang subordinate doon sa liberty of conscience. Dapat baliktad Yung liberty of conscience should be subordinate dito sa sa law of God. Basahin po natin. Patriarchs and Prophets 6:3-4. God has given men no liberty to depart from His requirements. hindi binigay ng Diyos yun. Eh, ang problema, itong General Conference,
They give that
they give that liberty.
So that means they
What
are,
God did not give, they give.
so that means they are practicing above what God has
Oh,
given.
yan
has
ang
given.
ano doon, ang problema. So, the Lord had declared to Israel, ye shall not do every man whatsoever is right in his own eyes.
Wow.
But ye shall observe and hear all these words which I commanded thee. Deuteronomy 12 verse 8 and 28. In deciding upon any course of action, we are not to ask whether we can see that harm will result from it, but whether it is in keeping with the will of God. Ayan. So, God has not given men liberty to depart from His requirements. Pero, unfortunately, the General Conference of the Seventh-day Adventists assume they put themselves in the place of God and give to the people what God did not give them.
Wow.
They give the liberty which God did not give to the people. Liberty to depart from His requirements. Yan po ang nakikita natin doon na malaking pagkakamali ng SDA Church nung araw na yon. Okay, sabi pa, alam nyo, nung sinabi ni ano doon, halata siguro niya na yung mga opposition ay medyo hindi sila kontento. So, sinikap niya ngayon na i-justify sa kanila yung kanyang ano ba, para pakita niya na somehow ay tama yung kanilang ginawa in granting liberty which God did not give. Okay, sabi niya dito, our brethren have maintained the spirit of liberty, the spirit of love, and forbearance and mercy. Adi tama namang maka-Diyos naman itong ano, di ba? Love, forbearance, and mercy. Maka-Diyos naman yan. We had the feeling that we are not permitted to stand between the conscience of men and the denomination. Ibig sabihin doon, nandito yung denomination, nandito yung members, hindi daw sila pwedeng pumagitna. Ayan. Tapos i-dictate nila kung anong gagawin ng ano doon. Hindi naman talaga sila dapat na pumagitna at sila ang mag-dictate. Diktahan yung konsensya ng mga members. Hindi. Aalis sila doon,
Hayaan
ipakita lang sana yung ano,
prinsipyo ng Diyos.
yung prinsipyo ng denomination. Na ipakita nila na ganun. Hindi sila dapat mamagitan. Pero itong sinasabi nila na hindi sila dapat mamagitan, yun actually ang ginawa nila eh. Pumagitan sila eh. At saka yung hindi pinapahintulot ng denomination, pinahintulutan nila.
So there's again a self-contradictory statement.
Self-contradiction pa rin yan. Na sinasabi nilang hindi nila ginawa yon, samantalang yun yung ginawa nila. They actually stood between the people and the denomination and present a false view. The liberty that God did not give to the people,
they gave it.
To transgress the law of God, they gave it. Yan ang ano doon. And then sabi niya, we cannot control the judgment of a person. Yes, totoo yan. We cannot control. Pero, we can tell them that the non-combatant position of the denomination is that the members must conscientiously refuse to obey government laws that come in conflict with the law of God. Dapat linawin nila yun. Na you have your conscience, pero tandaan ninyo ito, when it comes to your duty to the government, meron tayong standing teaching na galing sa Panginoon. We are to follow the law of the land for as long as they are in harmony with the law of God. But any law of the land, for that matter, if it come in conflict with the law of God, we would rather obey God than man. So you don't give them liberty to go and transgress. No, hindi tama yun. And then next, sabi pa niya, we do not believe that we could go so far as to say, you must not act according to your conviction, but according to mine. Eh, mali nga naman yun.
Hindi pwedeng diktahan.
Hindi naman sabi na, yung konsensya ko, susunod ka dun sa konsensya ko, huwag kang susunod sa konsensya mo. Mali talaga yun. Ayan. Pero, hindi naman natin sasabihin na gawin mo ito based sa konsensya ko. Pero sasabihin natin, kung tayo leader, you must act, exercise your conscience according to the will of God. Yan. And you should act according to the will of God, not according to my conscience. Yun ang role ng leaders. Pero ito, mali. Yung role niya, sa halip na turuan niya, sila na sumunod. Okay?
Binigyan.
Tinuruan pa niya ng mali na prinsipyo. To exercise his liberty of conscience in violation of the law of
The
God.
law of God.
Mali yun. Yan. Tandaan natin, meron tayong ano dito, when it comes to conscience, meron tayong standing revelation kung ano ang dapat natin gawin. Sabi dito sa Mind, Character, and Personality, Volume 1, page 322, the idea is entertained by many that a man may practice anything that he conscientiously believe is right. Ay, umiiral pala noon yung idea na ganon.
Na kung anong
Oo.
makita mong tama, gawin mo.
Kaya hindi pa na ipapanganak ito si Daniels. Ano na alam na meron ng mga tao na ganito yung idea. Na nabuhay before him. Na pwede mong, you can practice anything that you conscientiously believe is right. So kung sa tingin mo maganda ang hindi pumatay, hindi magsundalo, sundin mo. Pag naniwala ka na
Pwede lang.
pwede ka lang sumali sa gira at pumatay,
Gawin mo din.
gawin mo din. Meron palang ganyan. Pero anong sabi dito? But the question is, has the man a well-instructed good conscience? Or is it biased and warped by his own preconceived opinions?
Wow.
Ayan. Kasi meron namang bad conscience yan.
Yeah, evil conscience.
Ayan. Conscience is not to take the place of thus saith the Lord.
Wow.
Ayan.
That is the principle.
Ibig sabihin, talagang yung conscience natin, we cannot put it above the Word of God. Pag meron nang nagsalita ng Panginoon, sabi niya, huwag mong gawin ito, hindi mo pwedeng pairalin yung konsensya mo. Sabihin mo na, ay, Panginoon, sabi mong huwag kong gawin, pero sabi ng konsensya ko, gagawin ko. Hindi pwedeng gawin yun. Ano pa? On the church, okay, on the church has been conferred the power to act in Christ's stead. It is God's instrumentality for the preservation of order and discipline among His people. To it, the Lord has delegated the power to settle all questions respecting its prosperity, purity, and order. Upon it rests the responsibility of excluding from its fellowship those who are unworthy, who by their unchristlike conduct would bring dishonor on the truth. Gospel Workers, page 501. So ano po ang ibig sabihin nito? Okay. May responsibility pala ang church doon sa mga tao na nag-e-exercise ng kanilang conscience, liberty of conscience. Anong responsibility nila? Pagka ginamit nila yung kanilang liberty of conscience within the parameters of the church teachings and rules na binigay ng Panginoon, anong gagawin nila? Suportahan nila, pagpalain, yan, i-commend. Pero pag in-exercise nila yon,
that is
against the rules ng church, at pinayuan mo, ay itinutuloy pa rin yun, konsensya ko to huwag kang papatay. Ay, konsensya ko, pwede akong pumatay. Bakit ka naging dalawang asawa? Konsensya ko, pwede akong mag-asawa ng dalawa. Pero meron namang standing rule na dapat isa lang. Meron naman standing rule na dapat huwag kang pumatay. Pag in-exercise mo yan against the law, the church has a responsibility. After na ikaw ay pinayuan, ginawa yung proseso, hindi ka makinig, they have the power to exclude you from their fellowship. Ito ngayon, yung responsibility nito, sinuspende na naman ng General Conference ng SDA. Ayaw nilang freeze nila yung rule na ito, ayaw nilang gawin yung responsibility to exclude yung mga members na nag-exercise ng liberty of conscience against the law of God. Ayan. Ito pa. Page 322 ng Mind, Character, Personality, Book 1. Conscience do not all harmonize and are not all inspired alike. Some conscience are dead, seared as with a hot iron. When men may be conscientiously wrong as well as conscientiously right. Ayan. So ang ano pala, hindi mapagkatiwalaan itong konsensya. Ang conscience natin pwedeng mali, pwedeng
Tama.
tama.
Pero kaya may kailangan meron tayong absolute.
Ayun.
In which is
Kaya
the Word of
dapat
God.
ang conscience natin, it should be regulated by the law of God and the Word of
The
God.
Word of
Yan.
God. Which is the absolute.
Yun. Kaya dapat na above talaga yung salita ng Panginoon dito sa conscience. Pag sinagsalita ng Panginoon ng isang bagay, you cannot exercise your conscience
above it.
or contradict it. If you do, you have to pay the penalty.
Yeah.
Bear the penalty. Paul did not believe in Jesus of Nazareth, and he hunted the Christians from city to city, verily believing that he was doing service to God.
That is his liberty of conscience. na yun.
Liberty of conscience yan. Sinunod niya yung conscience niya.
But it doesn't mean tama yung ginawa niya.
It does not mean na tama yung ginawa niya. Ayan. Yan ang ano doon. Dapat na alamin natin kung paano natin gamitin ng tama yung konsensya natin.
Yeah.
Okay, ito pa ang palusot ni Daniels. As long as we do not have any precise limits and rules regarding our position towards authorities, everyone must be allowed liberty to proceed according to his conscience. The brethren in America maintain the same moderate and indulgent position as our brethren in Europe. Unang-una dito, totoo ba na sabi doon na wala tayong precise limits and rules regarding our position? Mali, hindi tama ito.
Kasi si Enoch Hayes nga, Dinis Fellowship na.
Oo,
Ibig sabihin may precise.
May
meron
precise limits talaga.
Limits na talaga.
At saka nalinaw naman natin na noon, na sabi doon na ang naglilimit is, if the law of the land harmonize with the law of God, it's okay to obey. We should obey. Pero if it comes in conflict,
Hindi pwede.
hindi na pwede. We should obey God rather than man. That is where we should submit our conscience to the rule of law. Hindi pwede na ano yan, isubject mo yung rule dito sa conscience mo. Hindi pwede. You will have to suffer the consequence in that case. And then sabi niya dito, the brethren in America maintain the same moderate and indulgent position as our brethren in Europe. Ito self-contradictory na naman ito. Kasi pag sinabing moderate, balance yan, no? Balance. Kung moderate, hindi
bias.
Hindi bias. Okay. Katamtaman lang. Pero itong indulgent, pag indulgent ay hindi na yon moderate. Hindi na moderate yung indulgence yun
Self-contradiction.
This is actually extreme on the negative side. Yan. Extreme laxness ang tawag doon. Parang ano yung ano bang tawag nila doon yung sa salvation by grace. Ganon. Meron niya mang extreme on the right na the salvation by law. Extreme naman on the left side
Salvation
na
by grace.
By grace through faith without law. Yun ang ano doon eh. So ganon, nandun siya sa ano sa
dalawang extreme.
Left wing. Etong ano, indulgent position. Pero yung strict, ayun, nandun dun sa right na extreme. Kaya hindi pwede, hindi. Pero sabi niya na parehas lang daw itong mga ginawa ng Amerika at saka sa Europe. Bakit self-contradictory? Sabagay, in essence, medyo pwede. Because doon sa, they did not openly say they are combatant sa Amerika. Non-combatant sila. But because of the liberty of conscience, they ended up transgressing the law of God just the same. Dito naman sa Europe, doon sa kanilang sulat, talagang they said you should go as combatant, bear arms and even work on the Sabbath. So openly, and they ended up also transgression. Doon hindi lang open. Combatant sila dito, non-combatant dito, pero pareho yung action, yung naging result. They went to the field and killed, transgress. Yon pa rin ang ano doon. Pero yon ang sinasabi na yung conscience nila talagang it led them to
Violate.
transgress God's law. Ayan. Ito, dapat natin tandaan na mali na sundin yung konsensya kung makalabag sa utos ng Diyos. Review and Herald, September 3. But the one says, my conscience does not condemn me in not keeping the commandments of God. But in the Word of God, we read that there are good and bad consciences, and the fact that your conscience does not condemn you in not keeping the law of God does not prove that you are uncondemned in His sight. So kahit pa nasasabihin nila na hindi kami nagkasala, kahit na kami ay pumunta sa gira, we just exercise our conscience. And our conscience says that we are not guilty. But that does not mean that they are not guilty before God. They may still be guilty. Yan ang sinasabi dito.
So upon looking all these evidences by Peter, because we don't have the time, looking upon all these evidences, we see on the first point that SDA has departed from the principles. We can say it apostatized, katulad ng sinabi as Brother Tolentino has described. And we already see that there is a transition of the principles from the former to the new ones. And nakita natin yung evidences. And also that the idea of liberty of conscience na sinabi ni A.G. Daniels is against to the idea of liberty of conscience na sinabi ng inspired word of God. So, mga kapatid, in this video, sana nalinawan po kayo na mali po yung sinasabi na hindi nag-exercise ng liberty or hindi hinahayaan ng leadership ng Islam na mag-exercise ang kanyang member ng liberty of conscience. We do believe that we need to make someone to exercise their conscience, but in subjection to the principles and the law of God. At nawa ay maintindihan din ito ni na Brother Amican and also Brother Brian Tolentino that liberty of conscience na gusto ng Diyos is not to transgress His law,
does
but
not
to
allow you to transgress
the law, but to fulfill the law of God. May the Lord bless us and keep us and help you to understand what we have discussed and make you choose what is the right path and what is the right truth and who is the right church of God. At bago po tayo magtapos, amin po kayong muling imbitahan para po sa panalangin. Mapagpala at mahabagin po naming Diyos na sa kaitasan po kayo ng mga langit. Kami po muli nagpapasalamat sa pagkakataon ninyo binigay sa amin na kami po ay makapag-discuss ng mga bagay hinggil po sa tayo o sa prinsipyo ng inyong iglesia. Nakita po namin na nagkaroon ng apostasya sa loob ng inyong iglesia noon na Seventh-day Adventist Church. At amin pong nakita na mali ang idea ng liberty of conscience na pinractice nila. Tulungan po kami na piliin ang tama at exercise po namin ang aming konsyensya in subjection to your law and to your word. And also bigyan ng kaalaman at kalinawan ng pag-iisip ang mga nanonood na ito neto at makita po nila kung alin yung tama. At pumanig sila at tayuan nila kung ano ang tamang prinsipyo na inyong pinagkaloob sa inyong iglesia. Patawarin po kami kung saan kami nagkamalit nagkasala. Ito pong samot hiling namin sa pangalan ni Jesus namin tagapagligtas. Amen.